I've got a huge problem, guys. My food spending has gotten out of control. I blame this entirely on living in a van. If you're considering van life, don't let this happen to you, because it probably will. I'll explain why in a minute, but I need to put the kibosh on this habit. First thing I need to do is go to the cheapest grocery store I can and attempt to buy a week's worth of food. The cheapest store near me is called Super 88. It's right outside here. Let's see what I can do. Look at this, 5 corns for $3. That seems like a good deal. $2 a pound for broccoli. Look at the size of these onions, and these are $1 a pound. This might be the most expensive thing I'm getting today, radishes for $2.50. I sometimes wonder if I'm getting enough potassium. I can buy like a dozen bananas right now for $1.49. I'm very tempted to try some of these obscure snacks, but for $7, I gotta stick to my plan. And last but not least, some rice, just to fill in all the gaps. So I just bought 30 pounds of vegetables and some spices, all for $46 at that Super 88. I've been paying that much for like a single dinner. This should last me a week. What I plan to do is store as much as I can, hopefully all of it, in this fridge for tonight. And tomorrow, in a long caffeine-fueled binge that I will film, I'm gonna cook all of it. I'm gonna cook and store 7 days worth of food and eat that throughout the week and try not to spend a single dollar more on dinners for an entire week. I wanna see how much money I save. All of this was $46. I still have 2 more things I need to buy. Meat, I'll buy that tomorrow, and Tupperware to store everything, because I don't have any Tupperware. Alright, you guys gotta see the Tetris situation I have going on in my fridge. As you can see, I'm filling my 55-liter fridge to the max. I only have 2 things left to put away. This dill, which fits right in here. I told you it's like Tetris. And this pack of potatoes that I may have to cram down or potentially leave out overnight. So now that I've got the vegetable situation out, I need to figure out the storage situation. I want to get Tupperware that fits my fridge exactly. I'm going to measure it. I want to get 7 containers so I can plot out 7 days worth of food. It's a beautiful sunset over Target tonight, so let's go see what they got. Seriously, look at this beautiful sky. That's gotta be a sign. So they sell these meal prep containers, but these are all way too small. Do people really eat that little food for dinner? Alright, now we're talking. The container I need cannot be more than 11 inches long. So let's see what we got here. So I've got a wild idea. I cannot find the perfectly sized Tupperware container. But what if I get one of these huge Ziploc bag things that are 12 inches by 12 inches long? You can get 68 of them for $5. So my food storage solved for $7. My vegetable situation solved for $46. All I need left is to buy meat. I'm gonna do that tomorrow, since that's when I'll be doing all my cooking. I don't have a freezer in my van, just a fridge. But before I go and get that last piece of the puzzle here, I'm gonna tell you guys about my finances with food, so you guys don't make the same mistake. My fridge is the reason I'm in this financial predicament. Listen, folks, refrigerators suck down a lot of power. When I installed mine, I didn't realize it would be a constant 5 amp draw on my battery, like all day, all night long. It killed my battery. The way I dealt with that was by not using it that much. I stopped buying the frozen meat. I typically buy like the pre-mixed bag of salad. I'd buy the pre-cooked chicken, some mixed vegetables, and the tube of garlic paste. Yeah, that stuff was my Achilles heel. But that plus a bag of pretzels and some water, that's coming out to 40 bucks a night I was spending on my dinner. I know that because I did the math. I put it in a worksheet right here. I'm gonna use this worksheet to track my new spending. I'm gonna put that under the new column once I have tomorrow's numbers. Well, I still have to buy the meat. I also left a red question mark here for adjustments in case my formula is not correct. I won't know that final math on this until the end of 7 days, until the end of this video. And I'm gonna keep a scorecard here to see if this project is worth it. The scorecard, I'm gonna record my battery life every day during the course of this 7 days while I'm eating leftovers. I'm also gonna score the quality of food on a scale from 1 to 10. 10 being great and 1 being, hot garbage, inedible. I feel like that's worth it. But if all goes according to plan, I think I might save 200 bucks a week in this project. I still have to cook everything. I'm gonna do all at Lake Denison tomorrow. This might actually be a lot of fun. Here we are for the last piece of the puzzle, where to get meat. I'm opting for Market Basket. Historically, it's got the cheapest, basically everything. This one, I think I'm somewhere in Lunenburg or something like that. This has to be the most crowded Market Basket I've ever seen. Check this out. I can get an entire chicken leg and thigh for $2.30. That's crazy. All right, well, let's do that. One less thing I have to cook. All right, now we're talking. 4 chicken patties for 12 bucks. That will feed me for 4 nights. I'll take it. So I've got 5 nights of meat covered. I shouldn't eat chicken every night though. I think I'll get 1 red meat and maybe 1 fish. Here we go. Beef eye steaks. I feel like I can get 2 nights out of this for 7 bucks. All right, the meat situation is taken care of. All for under 20 bucks. One last thing I'm gonna splurge on though, pretzels. Yeah, everything is insanely cheap in there. That's gotta be the cheapest grocery store I've ever been in, except for that Super 88. The only thing about Super 88, they don't have like hardly any meat. So today's price for 7 days worth of meat, plus the pretzels, $23. $69, that is. That's how much I paid for all of this food. $23 for the meat, $46 on the vegetables. My plan now is to chop it all up, cook it all up in one go, and package it in these Ziploc bags that I got. I've got the Ziploc bags all laid out over here, 1 for each day. Actually, I only put 6 out because obviously tonight's I'm gonna eat right out of the bowl. I've already got my chicken and beef going. My theory towards cooking that was just to throw it all in a big wok, use 1 salt and 2 spices. I'm using tonight pink Himalayan sea salt, dill, and licorice. I like to be adventurous. Now what I need to do is chop all of this up, especially this corn. This is gonna take a lot of work. I figure by the time I get this chopped up and ready to cook, the rice and the meat will be done, and I'll get to packaging that. All right, let's get this show on the road. Now before I take this stuff out of the fire, I've been thinking about just pre-mixing the rice with all my meat. I mean, what's stopping me from just dumping all of that right into that and just scooping it that way? So that was actually a ton of fun. You guys know I'm an accountant for my day job, right? This was like the perfect task for me. Divvying everything up. I did put a little bit more in one bag versus the others. That will be my Saturday night special, since I always do a 40-mile walk on Saturdays. Couldn't help but taste it a little bit too. It's just perfect. Maybe a little more salt on the next round. I have to say though, I need to get a bigger spoon. This little spoon I have took forever to fill these bags. So chopping up these vegetables is a lot less fun than putting it in those little bags. I'm starting to think I may have bought way too many vegetables. I also am not sure how I want to incorporate these bananas. I bought them because this was only $1.50. I feel like I might not be getting enough potassium in my diet. I'm wondering if I should just like chop these up and throw them in their own bag and kind of add them after the fact, you know what I mean? Anyway, I still got a lot more chopping to do, folks. So I'd say I have 3 more wokfuls to fill. Yeah, I'm gonna use up a lot more Ziploc bags than 7. I'm gonna have to mark which ones have the meat in it and which ones don't. Next thing I wanna cook. Do you guys hear that? Please, God, let that not be the ice cream truck. And here we have it. 6 bags with a couple pounds of food each. Now, I used up all my meat in all of these bags. I'm gonna use the blue sealed bags to mark which ones have the meat. All the other vegetables I'm gonna cook up and put in the red bags, just so I have a way of keeping track of where to get my protein from later. Well, I did it. 6 plus 3, 9 bags. The last 3 are filled to the brim. That's how much I cooked tonight. I think I actually may have cooked too many vegetables, bought too many vegetables. I could have spent less than $69. I probably could have spent $45 to $50 and been fine for a week. I actually hope none of this spoils before I get a chance to eat it. I'm a little worried about that. I turned my fridge all the way down to 34 degrees just in case. Oh, and by the way, yes, I did cook those bananas. I just kind of mashed them into the onions and the beans. Hopefully it all just pastes together into a goulash at the end. Right now, though, I'm gonna take a walk around this beautiful lake. I still need to update that workbook of mine, but I could really use some exercise. Lake Denison gets such amazing golden hour light, it almost hits you in the face. Speaking of faces, you may have noticed I'm wearing a new pair of sunglasses. Actually, these are an old pair of sunglasses. I lost my last ones. Those were the best pair of sunglasses I ever had. I got them at the Color Factory in Lower Manhattan. Now, I'm just dealing with the light by turning my back to it. I'm doing a loop around the beautiful Lake Denison here. The beach is still open. I think I might actually go for a swim. Yeah, the water at Lake Denison is so warm. I wasn't expecting having extra time to go for a swim tonight. That whole cooking marathon took 3 hours, in case you're wondering. And I can see myself doing that once a week. That was actually kind of fun. I would love to have music blaring on my phone and not be recording the whole time. As for tonight's score, the dinner I would rank at 10. It was hot, it was delicious. I had some of the beef, the dill, and the licorice. It's an acquired taste, but I like it. My battery is currently at 72.3. So that's the score for tonight. We'll see how tomorrow goes. In the meantime, I'm gonna catch some sleep. Catch up with you guys tomorrow. All right, day 2. Today was awesome, folks. I went to the most amazing park that I didn't even know existed in Massachusetts before today. That'll be my next video. But now, back to the task at hand, which is updating the score for day 2. Does this food still taste good? And what is my battery at? So my battery right now is at 76.3, which I think is 4% higher than it was yesterday. Now, I know I said the fridge would drain my battery. Today's a weekend day. I typically drive all day, like shooting stuff, so I would expect it to go up even more than that. We'll see if the battery really lasts, during the work week when I drive less. But now, the most important question, how does this food taste after 24 hours? Did it hold up? Is it still good? 9. That's the score for today. The only reason I'm not giving it a 10 is because it's not hot. I've been keeping the fridge very cold, but after 24 hours, yeah, this held up really well. And I didn't spend a dime on dinner today. So, day 2, we're looking good. All right, I'll check in with you guys again tomorrow. All right, day 3 of the food taste challenge, the food prep van life challenge. This one has some of that banana and onion paste mashed into it. Let's see how it goes. Oh, I can smell it for sure. All right, here goes nothing. All right, day 3 stats. The battery's at 77.5. That food, listen, you know how when you throw all different colors of paint together, it starts to turn gray? I think that's what might have happened with my flavors. If you watch my video, I put 3 seasons on the meat. I put 3 different seasons on the vegetables, and then I mixed it all together. I think that may have been a mistake. The flavors are all kind of starting to blend together. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give this a 7, unfortunately. Alright guys, day 4. I just had a haunting experience. I'm in a campground in Western Mass. An owl followed me home. Those things freak you out. They have, forward-facing eyes. They look at you like a person. This thing was following me. Anyway, the stats for day 4. Battery is at 75.2. 75.2. It's starting to go down. And the food quality, I think yesterday I gave it a 7. I actually didn't finish yesterday. Some of this is last night's leftovers, and I added some new stuff. I'll try to poke the new stuff here. Same problem as yesterday on day 4. The flavors are all kind of like canceling each other out. I wouldn't even give it a 7 this time. I'd give it a 6. No foul smells or anything. I mean, it still tastes reasonably good. I'm probably going to cover it in sriracha to finish it. But yeah, that's a 6 on day 4. Alright, day 5, guys. This one includes that banana onion goulash that I made earlier. Let's see how that tastes. Here's some of it right here. Yeah, it sounds exotic, but all the flavors have just canceled each other out. I think for day 5, 6, and 7, I'm just going to rely on coating it in sriracha sauce. It's still good, though, but I'd rather have fresh food by day 5. Oh yeah, the battery's at 75.2, so it went down. Food, I'm gonna give it 5. Alright, day 6, everyone. I'll be quick about this. I did get some stuff from Target today. I got a new Tupperware container that seals a lot better than my old one. I also got this for scooping out of the wok into the bags. If you remember, I used the spoon for allocating all the food into the storage bags. This is small enough to fit in a drawer easily. Anyway, I think it should do good. Let's get right to the chase and do our rating here. So the battery is at 73.8. The food, I think last time I gave it a 5. It smells good. Still smells good. Alright. Let's see what we got. This one has some chicken in it, so let's give that a try. You know what? It's funny. I think my taste buds might have been burnt or blasted yesterday, which is why I was so critical of it. It actually tastes really good. I can really taste the dill. I would actually give it a 7 today. It tastes that good. I don't think it needs sriracha sauce at all. Alright, that's day 6. One more day of this, folks. Bear with me. Alright, day 7. The moment we've all been waiting for. I'm actually in the parking lot of a Home Depot now. I'm eager to finish up this project. Alright, I give it a 5. The broccoli's starting to smell a little bit. I will buy less broccoli next time. The battery is at 70.3. Wow. I have not paid for dinner in 7 days, and that alone tells me this was a success. I need to plug in these numbers on my chart here and get the final math and see how much money I saved. So plugging in those final numbers, you'll see that my battery did drain by 2% over the course of this. I'm surprised it didn't drain more than I did. I think 2 years ago I had it wired through AC and I was just opening and closing it way too much. I've put the kibosh on those habits. Now, all I need to do is the final math, figure out what adjustments I need to make to this formula, and see how much I'm really saving. I created this worksheet which will help me find these numbers. First adjustment, I'm subtracting $18 from what I spent. I realized I can buy a lot less vegetables. I actually have like 4 pounds of vegetables still left over right now. And I would buy a lot less broccoli because I feel like that stuff goes bad first. I would also buy more meat. I found myself rating the meat on day 6. So I actually didn't eat any meat today, which can't be good. I need to buy 2 more days of meat. I figure that's another $7. Water. In my old formula, I accounted for water in my math. In the new formula, I only bought 2 days of water. I generally go through a gallon a day. So I need to buy 4 more gallons. That's 10 more bucks of water I need to add in here. Last but not least, more driving. This is to compensate for the draw on my battery. Now, I told you that my battery went down by 2%. I know that I need to drive for 20 minutes to raise my battery by a 1% state of charge. Knowing that, I can figure out the full math of how much I need to drive. I'll walk you guys through it. So I need to drive another 0.75 hours per week to compensate for the fridge's draw on my battery. I drive on average 40 miles per hour. That's both roads and highways combined. That means I need to drive for 30 more miles per week. I divide that by 17. That's my mileage, my miles per gallon I get in my van. That means I need to buy 1.7 more gallons of gas a week to compensate for the fridge's draw on my battery. At $4 a gallon, that comes out to $7 I need to spend more a week on gas. Putting all those numbers together, that means I need to adjust my new formula by $6. So let's go back to that other worksheet. Punch in that $6. Voila. I can get away with spending $75 a week or $11 a day on dinners. Now, it means eating leftovers for 6 days of the week. That's a quality of life adjustment I'll have to deal with. I actually enjoyed that whole cooking marathon at the camp though. That kind of compensates for it. And if that means I'm gonna save $205 a week just from eating leftovers, I'm gonna do it. I consider this project a huge success. Yeah, meal prep for van life. It's critical, folks. Anyways, thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed my math here. Don't forget to hit that like button below and subscribe if you want to hear more about what living in a van is like in New England. All right, peace out, guys.